More Bama sports news in a moment, but first, time to talk to you about Nukes 205 University Boulevard East in Tuscaloosa, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. I was in there just last night, as a matter of fact, and I had a turkey sandwich and a Simply salad. It was fantastic. All of their food is made from fresh ingredients. They've got those California-style pizzas that are light. They won't fill you up. They're just right. They're health conscious at Nukes, and they also have a terrific atmosphere. They got a beer and wine menu and a dessert menu that is off the charts with cakes, brownies, and Rice Krispie treats. Call 758-2455 for all your catering needs. That's Nukes Express Cafe. Well, let's talk a little basketball recruiting, because a lot of you fans have been calling me here at the station wanting to know, when is Anthony Grant going to sign somebody? Well, it's happened. Kendall Durant, if that last name sounds familiar, you're right. He's the cousin of Kevin Durant, former Texas star, now NBA scoring champ with Oklahoma City. Kendall not as big. Kevin 6'9", Kendall 6'3", combo guard out of Weatherford Junior College in Texas, averaged 16 points this past season. Originally, he's from the state of Virginia, and he was recruited out of high school by Anthony Grant when Anthony Grant was at Virginia Commonwealth, so there was a relationship there, and it pays dividends. He could wind up playing point guard or shooting guard, and nice pickup for the Crimson Tide basketball program. Well, for the first time in the program's history, the Alabama women's golf team is champion of the Southeastern Conference. Now, on Sunday at North River Yacht Club, fans lined the fairways for the final round of the SEC Championships. As a team, Bama finished at 4 under par, 4 strokes better than the Vanderbilt Commodores. Individually, Alabama's Brooke Pancake paced the Tide with a 2 under par score. That was good for an individual fourth-place finish. No question that this program under Mick Potter has taken it to the next level.
It feels great. We are ecstatic because we've finally hit this breaking point where we have a great win under our belt. We knew that we could win this. We worked really hard and played hard to win, and we did, so it's great.
We hung in there today and stayed patient and let other people make the mistakes. So it's just very rewarding, very thrilling. We got a team that works extremely hard every day, and they deserve to be successful.
Mick Potter said when he came to Alabama 5 years ago that he thought this program could be a championship caliber program. He was right. Tide wins the SEC. Now they're handed off to NCAA Regionals, which begin on May 6th. Well, coming up on the big show, your complete A-Day recap. Who stood out and what did we learn? And where should Bama be ranked in the preseason polls? Rodney and I will discuss. Plus, we'll get to your phone calls and your emails. 205-348-WVUA. That's 348-9882. Or you can email us at the address there on your screen. Keep it right here. Tider Insider TV, presented in part by Buffalo Rock, coming right back after this. Before we talk about the actual A-Day game, Rodney, we have to talk again about the fans. 91,000 plus. We've mentioned already the 4 commitments that have come since Saturday, and you've talked to numerous other recruits that were on campus for the game this past weekend. What effect, what kind of impression does that make on these high school football stars?
I mean, let's just take a guy like Nick Snoop Brazel out of Mississippi, Gary, the #1 player perhaps in that state. And, he's gone to games at Ole Miss throughout his entire life. He's only 25 minutes from the campus. He comes over here and sees something like this. He's blown away. He's never seen anything like it, and none of the other prospects have as well. So certainly it makes a huge impression on these guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's just a different level of excitement at an Alabama spring game as compared to a lot of other places around the country. All right, now for the game itself, an A-Day recap, if you will. I said on Saturday, these games aren't always a good measuring stick for what's going to happen in the fall, but it's clear that Alabama's got a really good football team again.
No question about it, Gary. All the athletes on the field. Certainly there's areas of concern, and you look at the kicking game and the kickers and so forth, finding a punter and those types of things. But, how long has it been since we've seen Alabama with the number of young quarterbacks? You're talking about, obviously, Greg McElroy, the national champion quarterback's back. You've got A.J. McCarron. Phillip Sims is going to be a tremendous player. And, hey, even Star Jackson, I mean, he's a very talented kid, has maybe not had the greatest of springs in terms of having that mid-spring suspension, but he looked good. The wide receivers, Julio Jones, we know what he can do, Marquise Mays, and just the running game. And what about the catch Trent Richardson made, what he showed, his ability to catch a football out of the backfield? I mean, Alabama defensively, a lot of athletes. Again, the concern defensively, Gary, is all the inexperience.
Well, Rodney, you sound impressed, and you weren't the only one. While calling the game on Saturday, ESPN's Craig James offered an interesting take on the preseason top 5 rankings. He said that he would rank the Crimson Tide first, and that's their Crimson team, and the White Squad 5th. Nick Saban, though, on the other hand, offered a different take when asked if he would vote the Tide preseason number 1.
If I was voting, I wouldn't vote it. I would think there's somebody that has more players coming back that had a successful team last year that is going to be more ready to compete, that way. But do I like our team? I love our team. Do I like our players? I love our players. Do I think we can develop into a good team? Absolutely.
Well, Rodney, obviously he's the head coach, and he understands preseason rankings don't mean anything. But you and I were in that press conference following the 8A game. He seemed relaxed, and he didn't try to hide the fact that he does like this team, as you heard him say, and he knows that they're going to have a good football team. How good remains to be seen.
Yeah, again, Gary, when you're talking about all that experience defensively, you never can predict what might happen, but certainly the offense, very, very talented, a great running game, obviously a running game that can chew up clock and keep the ball away from opposing offenses. And but when you talk about the defense, they are loaded with a lot of young talent. You talk about across the front, they have 6 guys that are probably, excellent players. You look at the linebacker core, they have to replace Rolando McClain, but you have Dante Hightower coming back. Jarrell Harris has kind of stepped up a little bit this spring. I know he's gotten a lot of praise from Coach Saban. A lot of young guys there. Courtney Upshaw just continues to look like he's developing before your eyes, but a lot of it's going to come down to what the secondary, how they improve, and Dre Kirkpatrick's obviously one of the more talented prospects they've had at cornerback in a while. B.J. Scott, we'll have to see how he continues to develop, but, they certainly have a lot of talent.
Indeed, and Alabama's probably going to be preseason number 1 in most polls, whether Coach would vote for them or not. All right, let's go to the phones. We've got some callers that have been waiting patiently. Gary's in Fayette. Gary, welcome to the program.
Yes.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yes, I'd just like to know who is Reese Dismuke's going to commit to tomorrow.
Well, Gary, I tell you, sometimes it's difficult to predict what a kid's going to do, but unless something changes, I think Reese Dismukes will commit to Auburn tomorrow. His mother is a huge Auburn fan. She is a graduate. I think at one point Reese was ready to commit to Alabama. I think his mother pretty much demanded that he give Auburn stronger consideration, and I think in the end she won out. That's what I really believe, and that's not taking anything away from Auburn. I just think that there's a heavy influence for him to go to Auburn, and I think he's going to follow through with that.
205-348-9882 if you want to get through to the program. Dale is holding in Pinson. Dale, welcome in.
Yeah, I wanted to find out about a replay on the 8A game. I missed it Saturday. Any chance of that?
Dale, I don't know. ESPN carried that game, and I don't have their listings in front of me. They would be the ones that would have to replay it, I'm assuming, and I can't answer that. I don't know if they're going to replay it or not. CSS might be able to replay it too. You'll just have to check your listings and see what you can come up with.
Sometimes at ESPN360.com, Gary, if you're on the internet, they carry those types of things, so you might check that.
Yeah, I want to check that as well. All right, we're going to have to take a time out. We've got some callers holding. We'll be back with more phone calls right after this.